I always start by asking people to tell their neighbors that peace be with you. I don't know whether you mind telling your neighbor that peace be with you. First of all, I like to thank all of you who are the lucky ones. Me, when I am happy, I sing. And one of the songs I mainly sing to the young people is that we are the lucky ones who are here. We are the lucky ones who are here. We are the lucky ones. We are the lucky ones. We are the lucky ones who are here. I know some of you are too serious for life. and especially you who are tied. You know, how can free people be tied? I really like seeing these sceneries. And the image I get is, I look at people as if they are coming from a factory. All tied, all suited in black and dark colors. Now when it comes to the Africans, it becomes more serious, because sometimes you can't differentiate them from their clothes. But I want really to take this wonderful opportunity to say that I'm glad you have had the wonderful opportunity of coming together. In the world, things happen only when people come together. And there is no problem which cannot be solved when people come together. And of all the challenges of every living thing, the most important aspect of life is security. Because without security, whatever else you want to do is not possible. So I'm really glad that you have put your minds together. And there is a big writing in the Johannesburg airport which says that if you want to run alone, if you want to run very fast, run alone. But if you want to go very far, go with others. I repeat, if you want to run very fast, you run alone, and I'm sure you will get tired. But if you want to go very far, go with the others. So I'm very happy that you have been able to spend this time you have spent here. I hope it has been a wonderful time. And for you, fellow Africans, I want to tell you that the current world situation is not very good for Africa. It hasn't been good for Africa for a long time. And when we are discussing at the different fora, at an international level, at a continental level, at a regional level, the new assessment of the security threats are now being coined as hybrid security threats. Why hybrid? Hybrid because they have different forms. They have all sorts of forms that are what were not there before. And they have been described as having hydra heads. You know the octopus? The octopus has many different arms. Now, the hybrid security threats of the world, the hybrid security threats of the continent, the hybrid security threats of any region, the hybrid security threats of a country can only be solved if we put our heads together, if we coordinate better. I always share things, but in the case of Africa, I would like to take you back at how other countries thought of us many years ago. And the best quotation I would like to share with you was by one Lord Macleay in 1835 in the British Parliament on the 2nd of February 1935. I would like you to listen carefully and see what he said, and see how Africa were threatened at that time. He said, "I have traveled across the length and breadth of Africa, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief. Such a wealth I have seen in this country, such a high moral values, people of such a caliber that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation." He was looking at Africa as a nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. That was what he called the backbone of this, what he was calling a country. And therefore, hear what he proposes. "I propose that we replace her old ancient education system." I repeat, we replace her old ancient education system, her culture, for if the Africans think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. Have you heard? A truly dominated nation. The African continent from that far, 1835, when the appetite of the outer world was to make it a fully dominated nation by taking away our backbone, our education system, our moral values, our cultural values, our African togetherness that has brought us this far, is when Africa started having the real threat of being dominated. How did that backbone, how did that civilization, how did, of course you know that all human beings emanated from Africa, civilization started from Africa and took the other directions to the rest of the world. But how it happened was because of getting together around the fireplace, around the cultivation place, around the harvest feasts and beer parties, around sharing that we must preserve. You have been hearing Uganda being called the Pearl of Africa. I would want to interest you in how he found the country he called the Pearl of Africa at that time. And it is in my interest as a Ugandan to share with you, just in case you haven't known more about Uganda. In 1907, he had just come here, and when he reached here, he decided even to stay longer, up to 1908. And this is what he said. He said there is a wonderful new world which he discovered. The scenery is different, the vegetation is different, the climate is different, and most of all, the people are different from anything elsewhere to be seen in the whole range of Africa. Don't be jealous. Under a dynamic king, with a parliament and a powerful feudal system, an amicable, clothed, polite, and intelligent race dwell together in an organized monarchy upon the rich domain between the Victoria and the Albert Lakes. There is court, there are regiments and ministers and nobles. There is a regular system of natural laws and tribunals. There is discipline, there is industry, there is culture, there is peace. In fact, I ask myself whether there is any other spot on the earth where dreams and hopes of the Negrophile, so often mocked by results and stubborn facts. It's not just now that the stubborn facts and wrong information is given about Africa. As early as 1907, Africa and Uganda was being given those mocked results and stubborn facts, where he says that where so often mocked and results and stubborn facts have ever attained such a happy realization, what message do I bring back home? Now, that's what he was sending messages to the United Kingdom. Hear what message he said about Uganda. He said, concentrate on Uganda for magnificence, for variety of form and color, profusion of brilliant life, bird, insect, reptile, beast, for vast scale. Uganda is truly the pearl of Africa. He walked on and on. He saw more and more. And at the end of his journey, he made concluding remarks. Very important remarks and statements. He said, my journey is at an end. The tale is told. And the reader who has followed so faithfully and so far has the right to ask, what message do I bring back? It can be stated in 3 words. Concentrate upon Uganda. My counsel plainly is concentrate upon Uganda. Nowhere else in Africa, when I say don't get jealous, please, I mean it. Nowhere else in Africa will a little money go so far. Nowhere else will the results be more brilliant, more substantial, or more rapidly realized. Uganda is from end to end one beautiful garden where the staple food of the people flows almost without labor. Does that not sound like a paradise on earth? It is truly the pearl of Africa. So, I have added in one of my songs that I wish I could continually see our beautiful country, our country, Uganda, of milk and honey, full of fresh water, fresh air, fauna and flora, full of sunshine, the pearl of Africa. That is being selfish to Uganda. But now, in this region of the Great Lakes, what don't we have? Fresh water, fresh air, fauna and flora, full of sunshine, really the pearl of the world. Our region is the pearl of the world. And it does not go without cost. That means it is very attractive. That means it is very exciting. It is tempting to the great people who have the means to use whatever they have to disorganize us. Africa has been looked at as just a continent for raw materials, more so the Great Lakes region than anywhere else. Birds, if I may give you a good example which shows that it is the most beautiful region of the world. Bird species of the world, the highest number of bird species of the world look for their sanctuary in this region. When they are flowing from the southern hemisphere and when they are flying from the northern hemisphere, they don't know our small boundaries which disrupt us. They look for the best environment, and that's why they are always found in this region, because for them they are not bound by those small boundaries which were artificial. Which means that our region is the most beautiful region of the world.